Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Westside MMA here, and today I'm just going to be talking a little bit about things that don't have to do with gameplay, but still need to be added into the game at some point. Some of these things I know won't be added in until, or can't be added in until possibly a whole nother game. But at the same time, I'm thinking they could incorporate this somehow, like, maybe a year down the road instead of coming out with a new game. I mean, I think this game has potential to be around for, at least 2.5, 3 years. I mean, as long as EA does, certain things to keep it going, like DLC and whatnot. But some other things that they could do down the road, instead of making a whole new game, if they can do it, because EA has the power to, change the whole game, I believe. So, this is just some certain things that I think that they need to fix and add onto the game to make it the best game ever. Yeah. First thing we got here is in leaderboards. I'm just going to talk about leaderboards. The leaderboards are very plain and they need a big overhaul. First thing is win streak. You don't even, in this game, it does not show your win streak. Like right now, I'm on a tear with Jacare Souza. I think I've won about, I'm guessing because it doesn't tell me. At least I don't know where it tells you. I'm pretty sure there's no win streak in the leaderboards. But I'm probably somewhere, near 18, 19, 20 wins in a row with Jacare Souza. And I would like to know what my win streak is and what, there should be a thing for current win streak and longest win streak in the leaderboards. And then also they need to separate it into each weight class and show you what your record is and what your win streak and your wins by knockout, submission, decision in each weight class separately. They need to do that. They had that in UFC 2010 and I believe UFC Undisputed 2009. I'm not sure if they had that in EA MMA, but I'm pretty sure they didn't. But, if you combined all the good things from the Undisputed series and EA MMA, you would have the perfect leaderboards, and that's what I want, because I feel like the leaderboards now doesn't really tell you as much as they could. Another thing I want to see is from that they had in UFC 3 was they showed the record, your online record, and I believe offline, but all I need to know is online record with each fighter in the game. That was very interesting, just so you can know. If you'd be like, oh, there's certain people that you use that you don't really keep track, and you'd be like, oh wow, I'm actually pretty good with this fighter. You could be like, a fighter that you don't use that much, but you're pretty good with. Be like, oh wow, I've won 25 fights with this guy and only lost like 2. So that's a good thing to know, just to help you out. To get better at the game and improve your record. So win streak. Something that they could add in, and this is really, I'm not sure if they could even do this on the current game. It'd be amazing if they could, and I know everybody, there's not one person that doesn't want this, and that is fight cards from EA MMA. If you asked, there's not one person in this world that wouldn't want that. Just leave it the way it was in EA MMA. Have 8 people go into a fight or into a match, and you get to talk to each other and fight, and it is the most fun I've ever had in any video game in my entire life. Okay? That's what made EA MMA my favorite game of all time. It still is. Even for comparing it to current gen, EA MMA or EA UFC is second to it, because I'm having a great time, but there's so many things, as I'm telling you right now, that need to be fixed that I can't put at the top of the list until it has these things. So EA MMA is still at the top. It had gameplay problems. The ground game, was pretty bad. If you would have put the ground game that they have in EA UFC in that game, it would have been hands down the best game in the world. Just because that ground game with the whole vibration thing, allowed you to play the game with your eyes closed. So that was bullcrap. But yeah. And another thing that was in EA MMA that they need to add in is Fightershare. I'm not sure why they didn't put that in the game, considering that you cannot use created fighters online, which I do like. I mean, you could still use them in quick matches if you want, so that's fine. The fact that you can't use them in ranked, that I do believe that that's a really good idea. I mean, they could have done something along the lines of having a menu system similar to 2010, where you could choose, you know, UFC roster, UFC and CAF, or just CAF. That would be, I mean, even in ranked, I think that would be the best option, just so that you can't complain, you know. You can't complain that you're fighting stacked CAFs because there's an option to get rid of it. So I think that's kind of what they should do, because I would use CAFs in ranked if you could, you know, if they had a stack limit like there was in EA MMA where you couldn't make them, you know, 100 overall. I think that would be a really good idea. So Fightershare is something that needs to be put in. I don't know why it's not. And the game face needs to be improved too, because the game face is pretty bad. I tried making a guy that looked like me, and it ended up pretty bad, obviously. You know, I would have used them, but because of the lighting of my game face picture, it made me like really dark skin, like almost had like orange skin, and obviously I have pretty, you know, white. So yeah, I didn't really. The game face, as I see as people that are putting their videos on YouTube for career mode, most of the people look messed up. So that needs a big time overhaul. I mean, the game face, or the fighter sharing, or the game face in EA MMA was a lot better. It still wasn't amazing, but it was a lot better. Referees. There's only 2 referees in the game, which is really weird. There's Eve Levine and there's Mario Yamasaki. Where's Herb Dean? Where's Big John McCarthy? Where's Dan Mergliata? Where is Steve Mazzagatti? I mean, where are the other guys? There's only 2 refs in the game. I think that's stupid. It's not a big deal, but it's retarded, because my favorite ref to make fun of is Herb Dean, because he's such a bad ref, and, you know, he's always someone that I can blame the fight on, you know. If I get, I mean, in this game it's not so much, but in the other games, you know, 2010, where they'd, you know, TKO you and they'd pull you off, they'd actually stop the fight from a TKO, unlike this game. That's the gameplay issue that I've talked about. There's no TKOs, but that's not for this video. But, you know, adding more refs is great, you know, and not having Herb Dean in the game to blame for my loss is kind of hard to have. And so, you know, whatever. But that's all I really got for today. These are a lot of things. If they added, you know, at least half of what I just said, it'd probably pass up EA MMA on my favorite game of all time. But they need to do this stuff. I mean, the game as it is, it's fun, but, you know, I feel like after about a year, if they just keep up with this and they don't really do much besides adding just DLC, I think that, you know, you really need to start adding in things like fight cards and stuff as like a whole game update, you know, like a huge update, like, you know, 50, well, not 50, but, you know, they could put in like a 10 gigabyte update or whatever it is, for free, obviously. Instead of buying or maybe you can charge, I don't know. I mean, instead of putting out a whole new game, you could just do updates. That's what I would do if I was, you know, working at EA and had the ability to do that. But that's all I got for today. So till next time, West Side MMA out.